Hello, welcome to the Speak Your Truth podcast. I am your host, Jaya Rose. I am a brand growth coach specializing in storytelling, speaking, and really the energetics of client attraction. And I am very excited to share with you today something that I personally use to help my energy, and that is EFT tapping. I'm going to be interviewing Jackie McDonald. She is the creator of the McDonald manifestation method through EFT tapping, and she's just absolutely incredible and a dear friend of mine. We are sharing with you how to get out of your own way and into really receiving big, bold visibility. So, what does that look like? What does that take in your nervous system, especially if you're a highly sensitive person like both me and Jackie? We're going to dive into this interview. I do want to point out that we are going to be doing some live tapping during the interview. And if you've never done it before, you're going to want to download her guide to the points of where you tap so that you can follow along easily. So I would say pause this now, go below into the show notes and click over to her website and download this PDF so that you can really follow along. It's going to be amazing. I go a little in depth into my own stuff and I got vulnerable and real. So it's going to be a good one. It's like a therapy session, okay? So get ready and just go ahead and listen in and make sure to sign up for Jackie's free 4-day tapping experience if this is in the month of March in 2021. It's going to be on March 22nd. If you're listening to this after that, no worries. Still connect with her, download her free guide. She does these tapping experiences multiple times a year, and I highly recommend that you learn from her. She also teaches people how to grow their tapping business. So definitely tap in to Jackie McDonald. Let's air this. Let's go. Hey, welcome everybody to this live. Welcome, Jackie. I'm so excited you're here.
It's such an honor to be here, Jaya. It's like you just said, it's a nostalgic moment. We've been through a big journey together, and you've been a core component of my expansion. So I'm really grateful.
Oh, it's amazing. And you inspire me. I think this is when you really know that someone's soul family is when you're like, okay, you could be my client, then I've been your tapping client, and we just are walking this journey to big, bold visibility together.
Yeah, 100%. We're stronger together, and we each have different unique gifts and abilities that we need from one another. And there's more than
Mm,
enough room for everyone on this journey. So we're living
it's so
proof of
true.
that. It's a soul fam for sure.
I love it. So let me check in with the live viewers. Hello, Twyla. Hello, everyone. If you want to take a moment and share this, then I can introduce. I don't know if you were wanting to do that. If you want to just share it later, that's okay too. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. So welcome everybody who is here, whether you're live or you're listening later on the podcast. This is going to be a really powerful conversation around visibility. We're going to talk about Jackie and what she's done to go from really having no online presence, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, to building this business where she is gearing up to have her first $1 million launch, working with a big marketing team, getting on TV. I'm not just saying big, bold visibility. I am actually talking about some really next level things. And we're going to talk about the mindset of that, what it's taken for the nervous system to catch up and to be there to support Jackie. And then we're going to do a round of tapping as well. Does that about cover it, Jackie?
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun because I believe that this is possible for anyone, but it really understanding our nervous system and our own way of doing things. You've
Mm,
expanded in your own way. I've expanded in my own way.
yeah.
Listening, you're going to expand in your own way too, and really honoring that journey is something I'd love to talk about today as well.
I love that. Well, is there anything you want to start sharing right away about your specific journey and where you've come from to let the audience, if people in my audience don't know you, I feel like they should, but maybe they don't. So why don't you just share briefly a little bit about your story and how you've gotten to where you are now?
Absolutely. So I always say tapping. You don't know what tapping is? It's a self-help tool that's at your fingertips that helps you. Honestly, I always say it found me at my worst and brought me to my best. It usually finds you in moments when you're going through major change. and you're having a lot of emotions come up and you're feeling like you're out of control in your life. And that's exactly what happened to me. I found tapping 9 years ago, and I was 19. I was just had a baby, and I had 5 people die within 6 months.
Mm.
So I was young, I was a new mom, and I was facing a lot of uncertainty. And what I didn't know at the time, I didn't know anything about my nervous system at the time. I just knew my body was freaking out, and the doctors didn't have any answers. They're like, you're just a tired new mom, you'll get over it.
Mm.
Wasn't getting over it. And that's when tapping came into my life. And it's this process that you can do very easily on your own, that started to release the emotions that were keeping me stuck. So I had a lot of fear of the unknown. I was honestly afraid of who was going to die next. That was
Mm.
my fear. And I had this new baby to protect. And in my body, so my body was stuck in this fight response, freeze response. So tapping interrupted that. It put my nervous system into a relaxed state where my physical symptoms got better and I began to heal. So that was the first time I found it, and it changed my life. I always say I feel like I have my life back because my body got better and I could be present with my daughter. But it also taught me how to let go of people that I loved, and trust in what was coming. So over the next year, I ended up studying it. I worked 9 months. I did a training 9 months long in it, and worked through a lot of my own things. And then as the years progressed, I had more loss. My dad passed away, which I know, Jaya, you know what that's like. It changes your life. And tapping was this tool that helped me be masterful with my emotions. Like I was able to actually be with him in his final days and be present with him. And my body didn't hold on to the trauma the way that I saw it happen for my siblings. So I saw it work over and over again in my life. Well, fast forward to when I found you, Jaya. We met at an event, and I was this young mom and wanting to, share this with the world, but really scared of what people would think, because tapping was really weird and unconventional. No one knew about it. And that's when you came into my life. You introduced me to the idea of a Facebook Live. And I did my first Facebook Live all those years ago. And one of my first Facebook Lives, I tapped on anxiety. And it's actually hilarious because I'm like sweating and anxious in the video and tapping.
You're like, I'm really tapping. No, like I'm really talking to myself right now.
But that changed my life. Like sharing my story publicly changed my life, because all of a sudden people started coming out of the woodwork being like, I've went through that too. I've lost people too. And like, this thing helped you. And I started helping them with tapping. So it created this, building effect.
Like you built a business too.
Built a business.
Yeah. This building effect.
So fast forwarding to today, I'm going for a huge goal. I'm going for $1 million month. And how did I do it? Is a quantum leap, right? Like I have been preparing for this for years. I have used tapping to get here. And one of the things that I want to do today is to tap into the woman or the person that you're becoming. Right. So I really studied that for a long time. It's like, who am I becoming? What does she feel like? We hear this a lot, but when you apply tapping to that, you activate it in the body and then you feel it before it happens. Mm-hmm. So that's a summary of where I am today.
That's a beautiful segue into this moment. I love storytelling and it's a part of what I teach. So I just think it's so valuable to understand. Well, that was 4 years ago. And that is a quantum leap. We hear about quantum leap. What does that mean? Is that 24 hours? Is that 2 weeks? I would consider going from not having an online business at all to having $1 million month in 4 years, a quantum leap. In any business model, that would be considered astounding. And what most people don't talk about in any business model is what it actually takes, not strategically, but physically. What does it take? And you're a highly sensitive woman like me. We talk to a lot of highly sensitive people, which means that you need to take extra care of your nervous system. I call our nervous system extra. It needs more support. And for a lot of people, that can be a stumbling block and they might not even know it. Maybe they think they don't have the right strategy. Maybe they think that they don't have the right message or they're not confident enough. But sometimes it really can just be a shift of nurturing your nervous system and helping you think and feel in a different way.
A
Is this
hundred,
right?
100%, because I think if you're like myself, I will say you're right. That's a quantum leap in 4 years. I did not feel like I was quantum leaping
Right.
90% of that time. I felt like I was like scrambling and trying to figure it out 90% of the time. But then
Yeah.
I knew it would work for me, and tapping always worked for me. Um, I will say though, when it comes to like the expanding in the nervous system part, I think a lot of us don't realize it, but I used to think that was a waste of time. I used to think
Mm,
like meditating, like I know I should do it, but I don't have time to do it because I got to make
right.
money. It like was an entrepreneur and as a single mom, that was the urgency I felt a lot, which I think lots of people feel, this urgency to create
Yeah.
a movement and money. But the secret is the more you slow down and tap in, the faster that process happens.
Mm,
So
yeah.
that was, I resisted it for so long, and I actually would tap on my resistance. But if you can take one thing from today, that like, I know you want to make money, you want a movement, you want people to know your name, they will, but you got to know you first, and you gotta give your body the time to integrate in that expansion, and it will accelerate you.
Hmm. I love it. I think you have an expression around that,
Which
the
which
like tapping in order to go bigger. Is there?
Well, my main expression that I say a lot, well, there's a few. You have to tap out of everyone else and into yourself, and that you have to release in order to receive. That's really
Yeah.
my core idea. It's like, you want to make this quantum leap, you want to have this life, but there's a part of you that doesn't want it, to
Yeah.
be honest. There's a part of
Right.
you like, that's going to be too much. I'm going to lose the people I love. I'm not sure about it. Someone else is already saying it. And I say resistance is the roadmap. I use that part of you that's resistant and I tap on it and release it from the body.
Mm.
And it's like, I call it my power team. It's all the different parts of myself that are next to me and on board for who I'm becoming.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, even just from a physical level. It's like if you want to get new clothes, well, then you need to clean out your closet. You know, what's in the way? And I think that we look at those things like they're blocks or they're like these mental constructs, and maybe they are, I don't know. But what if it's easier than that? That's my question. What if it's energy? What if it's transmutable?
It's
And it's
frequent.
not something that you have to bump up against over and over again. And that's why I love your message and tapping, because I think that you do create this ease that it's normal. Like, and that's what you open up with tapping, right? Like, I love myself anyway. I feel like I'm going crazy right now, and I love myself anyway.
Yeah.
It's such a profound way of being. And I love that. So that's not a question. But I do have a question. And that is, as you're looking back over these last 4 years, and now you're also simultaneously, probably more often, looking forward towards what you're calling in and who you are becoming, has your practice around expansion and releasing to receive shifted, or do you find that it's similar?
Good question. I've noticed that it shifted because exactly what you just said, it's frequency. So tapping is a vibrational experience. But traditionally, tapping has been taught as a trauma tool, and it's way more than that. You can literally tap into a frequency of the $1 million version of you, or the you that has the relationship that you want, or whatever it might be. So my practice has changed because I kind of took a lot of these traditional self-help tools and broke them down and made them work for me. So for an example, affirmations. Today I tap with everyone at 9 a.m. every day, and today's affirmation was, I'm doing it right.
Mm,
And when you say that to yourself, like, I'm doing it right, do you believe that? Or is there a little part of you that always feels like you're doing it wrong?
mm,
And if there is a part of you that thinks I'm doing it wrong, that's often from our past. And for me, it was as a little girl, I was always afraid of doing it wrong. So it was like, had this sort of running theme in my body, this anxiety in my body that I was doing it wrong. So the practice that I've changed is taking like kind of the traditional rules of tapping, the traditional rules of affirmations, and I brought them together to make them my own,
yeah.
which I call the McDonald manifestation method. And and worked with my body and worked with so there's no like bypassing, like people talk about spiritual bypassing. It's like tapping doesn't let you get away with that.
Yeah.
You have to acknowledge the resistance and you have to release it. And then you feel free. That's really what emotional freedom is like, oh, I'm not denying my truth anymore.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to acknowledge it. So that is what I've done differently to get here.
And that shifts probably what's being asked of you to release or to open up to is shifting. So if we are to do, we're going to do a little tapping, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of the people on the podcast, can we tell them the tapping points so that they can follow along just through our words?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
I'll have a free guide if you go to my website. It's jackiemcdonald.ca.
Okay.
And you can go to the free tapping guide. It's right at the top, and there's a chart. So the chart will show you the tapping points. But I always tell you the points as we tap, and it's kind of like a game of Simon Says. So I'm gonna tap and say something, then you and Jaya are gonna tap and repeat after me.
Okay.
I will say, when I first experienced it, I thought it was really weird. So that's super common. Like, I was like, what am I doing? But I always say it's better experienced than explained. So
yeah. So we'll just do it. So if you're on the podcast, I'll link this below Jackie's website. Go download it now, take a look at it, and then follow along with the words we're saying.
Perfect. You got it.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to tap on acupuncture meridians, where if you were to go to acupuncture, you would put needles in these points, but we don't do that. We just tap on them with our hands. So the first point is on the side of the hand. It's called the karate chop point. So it's on the side of your hand, just below your pinky finger, and you just tap on the side of your hand. And we're going to stay here for what's called 3 rounds. And then we're going to move to the face and body points. So I'm not going to go through all the points first. I'm just going to walk us through it as we go. Sorry, before we do that though, Jaya, we're going to tap into expansion. Is that what you want to tap on today?
Yeah, let's tap into being the version of ourselves that welcomes in big, bold visibility, that could feel comfortable. Like, what if that was easy? And what if it wasn't filled with resistance, but rather excitement?
I love that. The version of me that is out there, big, bold, and visible. What is that version of me like? Okay. So let's tap right, like what I just told you, right on the side of the hand, right underneath that pinky finger on the meaty part of the hand. And you're gonna repeat after me and say, even though I have this vision,
even though I have this vision
for myself, to be big, bold, and visible,
to be big, bold, and visible.
There's a little part of me that's afraid of it.
There's a little part of me that's afraid of it.
And that's okay. I love and accept myself anyway.
And that's okay. I love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I want this vision.
Even though I want this vision.
There's a little part of me that's unsure.
There's a little part of me that's unsure.
Unsure that that's possible for me.
Unsure that that's possible for me.
And that's okay. I love and accept myself anyway.
And that's okay. I love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I see other people have it.
Even though I see other people have it.
I don't know if I can have it.
I don't know if I can have it.
And I love and accept myself anyway.
And I love and accept myself anyway.
Now we're going to go and we're going to tap on the top of the head. It's right at the crown of the head. And we're going to say, I don't know if I can be big, bold, and visible.
I don't know if I can be big, bold, and visible.
Tapping on the eyebrow point. Other people have more to say.
Other people have more to say.
Tapping on the side of the eyes. I don't know if my message matters enough.
I don't know if my message matters enough.
Tapping underneath the eye. Can I really be that big?
Can I really be that big?
Tapping underneath the nose. I wonder what's really holding me back.
I wonder what's really holding me back.
Underneath the mouth. Where am I holding on to that in my body?
Where am I holding on to that in my body?
Collarbone point. Where am I holding back in my body?
Where am I holding back in my body?
Underneath the arms, around being visible.
Around being visible.
Tapping underneath the chest. I'm open to seeing this now.
I'm open to seeing this now.
Tapping on the wrists. And I'm open to letting it go.
And I'm open to letting it go.
Okay, so I want you to take a nice gentle breath. I want you to tune into your body. And when you think about expanding into your next level, where in your body do you feel a response? So this response might be excitement or it might be hesitation.
Feels like hesitation in my chest on the left side.
Beautiful. So Jaya's is in her chest on the left side, where for you it might be the same, it might be different. So when I think about expanding bigger, I feel this feeling come up in my whatever part of the body. And this is a part of yourself that's waving a little red flag, like, hey, would you look at me? Because like I know you want to expand, but I'm not sure.
Hey.
Hey, over here. And this is the beauty of our body. It's like it holds so much wisdom, which we hear, and tapping is a way to communicate with that wisdom. So this part of you, Jaya, that's like, oh, I'm not sure in my chest.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? What are you afraid of?
It feels like a fear of being seen. It would be like a small child hiding behind their mom's leg, which actually was something I did a lot as a child. This is a story I've heard. So and I've never put that together, but that is what it feels like. Just that like, I'd be safer if I wasn't seen.
Powerful. So how many of you relate to that? I'll be safer if I wasn't seen.
Mm.
So part of the beautiful work of tapping is that we get to go back and be the parent, be the adult that little us didn't have. So that little girl that's hiding behind her mom's leg, what does she need to feel safe to come out from behind there?
I think the immediate thing is that she wants to know what's going to happen. And it's like, as a child, there's so much out of your control. It's like, well, if I can't have control over it, then it's not safe.
So I need to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So are you okay to do some more tapping?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to tap again on the side of the hand and say, even though there's this little part of me.
Even though there's this little part of me
that's afraid to be out of control.
That's afraid to be out of control.
That's afraid of expansion.
That's afraid of expansion.
I see this little part of me now.
I see this little part of me now.
And I love and accept her.
And I love and accept her.
Even though this part of me is afraid.
Even though this part of me is afraid.
Afraid of being out of control.
Afraid of being out of control.
Afraid of being seen by the world.
Afraid of being seen by the world.
I see her now.
I see her now.
And I love her dearly.
And I love her dearly.
Even though this little part of me.
Even though this little part of me.
Doesn't feel safe or ready yet.
Doesn't feel safe or ready yet.
I love and accept this part of me now.
I love and accept this part of me now.
And I give her the time and space that she needs.
And I give her the time and space that she needs.
Go to the top of the head and say, there's a part of me that wants to hide behind my mom's leg.
There's a part of me that wants to hide behind my mom's leg.
Eyebrow point. She says, I'm not going out there.
She says, I'm not going out there.
Tapping on the side of the eye. That's scary.
That's scary.
Underneath the eye. It's scary for the world to see me.
It's scary for the world to see me.
Underneath the nose. I won't be safe.
I won't be safe.
Underneath the mouth. I wonder what this part of me needs.
I wonder what this part of me needs.
Collarbone point. To feel better now.
To feel better now.
Underneath the arms. What would feel safe for her?
What would feel safe for her?
Underneath the chest. What would help her feel better?
What would help her feel better?
Wrist point to come out into the world.
To come out into the world.
So with a nice deep breath, I'm going to hear what comes up for you, but then I'm going to give us this magic tool that starts to change everything. So what's coming up for you now, Jaya?
Well, the clear answer to the question feels like self-love. At first, it felt like, well, as long as I come out and I'm seen and everybody else loves me and I get validation, then I'll feel safe. And then there's the part of me that like, well, we know that that's not true. We know that that's not going to happen. So then what is the deeper level of that? And it felt like just loving myself, which is the ultimate confidence, isn't it?
Yeah. So older Jaya needs to come in to little Jaya and say, you know what? I've got you. I love you.
Yeah.
Maybe you can take her hand and say, I'll walk through the world with you.
Yeah.
I love you. So there's different options here. When we do deeper work in tapping, I often give the younger you, the younger version of yourself, a magic wand. And
Yeah.
I want you to create whatever you need to feel safe.
Yeah.
Anything in the world. Maybe it's a blanket, maybe it's a pet, maybe it's a person from the past, present, or future. What do you need to feel safe, little you, to go out in the world?
Yeah.
Because that little us is stored in our subconscious brain. And when we're tapping, we're literally tapping into the subconscious. It's giving us information about why we're not growing, why we're not being visible, why we're not expanding. So for those of you that are listening, that little you that might be hiding behind her mom's leg or hiding in a corner, ask her what she needs. Give her a magic wand and say, you get to create what you need to feel safe in the world. So
Yeah.
for little me has a lion. She's like, I have a lion that walks through the world with me. So no one can mess with me. Right. So a little kid's response will be kind of quirky and funny.
Yeah.
But when they're subconscious, when those younger parts of ourselves feel safe, we can then show up in the world differently. And it's like magic. I see it happen every day for people. They immediately.
I love that. So good.
So, as we finish off, do you want to do one more round of affirmations? This is the fun part of tapping that lots of people love. Is we move into
This is the part I love.
where we move into affirmations and we really tap into that frequency of who we're becoming. So maybe the affirmations we can use today is I'm stepping out bigger than ever before.
Mhm.
I am being seen, I'm being felt, I'm being heard. I feel embodied in my message. I feel excited about what I'm talking about, and other people are excited about me. How does that
Mhm. I mean, heck yeah. I want to hear all that. I want to say all that.
tap into that? So we'll do one more round. We're going to tap one last time on the side of the hand and say, even though there was this part of me
Even though there was this part of me
that was scared of expanding more,
that was scared of expanding more,
I'm feeling better about it now.
I am feeling better about it now.
I'm ready to step out and be seen.
I'm ready to step out and be seen.
Even though I might have to tiptoe my way out,
Even though I might tiptoe my way out,
I'm ready to show up and be seen
I'm ready to show up and be seen
because my message and my work matters.
because my message and my work matters.
Even though I've been working at this for a while,
Even though I've been working at this for a while,
I'm ready to step in at a bigger level now.
I'm ready to step in at a bigger level now.
My visibility and impact is growing.
My visibility and impact is growing.
It's growing bigger than ever before.
It's growing bigger than ever before.
Good job, right at the top of the head. It's growing bigger than ever before.
It's growing bigger than ever before.
Eyebrow point. My message is making waves.
My message is making waves.
Tapping on the side of the hand. It's growing bigger than ever before.
It's growing bigger than ever before.
Underneath the eye. People are hearing me.
People are hearing me.
Underneath the nose. People are feeling what I have to say.
People are feeling what I have to say.
Underneath the mouth. And I feel it too.
And I feel it too.
Collarbone point. I feel the power in my voice.
I feel the power in my voice.
Underneath the arms. I feel the movement behind my message.
I feel the movement behind my message.
Underneath the chest. My visibility is getting bigger than ever before.
My visibility is getting bigger than ever before.
Tapping on the wrist. And I was born for this, baby.
And I was born for this, baby.
Yes. Good job. Take a nice deep breath. Notice your body.
Yeah.
And there's a different frequency to that, right? So really important that we work with ourselves on our way there. So maybe you're still working on the, I'm not quite ready to be seen yet. That's okay. That's okay too. But you're walking towards a new frequency of becoming someone who carries a movement and a message that is bigger than you. And I know that's how you feel, Jaya. Your message is bigger than you. Right?
Yeah. That's the only way for me to get out of my own way consistently, is to not make it about me. I was just, maybe it was for this. I just had something come in and I was like, oh, I better write that down. But essentially it was like the essence of online entrepreneurship is being so incredibly self-absorbed that you own your magic, and also egoless so that you can share it.
To both ends.
Right? Yeah.
100%. Well, thank you. This was so fun. I hope everyone listening enjoyed it. If you are new to tapping, or if you've experienced it before, I'm grateful for the platform to share it on.
So amazing. So let's tell everybody, if they're watching this live or listening in the month of March in 2021, you have a free event coming up, right? So
Yes,
let's talk about that.
4-day free event. So it's a 4-day tapping series where I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. So what's happening when we tap? Why is it working? What's happening in our brain and in our body? How to do it. We're going to learn how to do it, the basics, and then what to say when you tap. So you're like, I have this thing I want to do in my life, but I keep getting stuck. I'm going to teach you how to apply tapping to that to accelerate your results. I'm also going to teach you all the different ways you can add this to your life, whether it's just incorporating it with your kids, in your own healing journey, or incorporating it in your business. Because I know a lot of people want to help others, but
Yeah.
they don't know how, and tapping is the how. It's a tangible tool that you can teach people and be paid for, that has transformed hundreds of people's lives. So that's what I'm teaching in that 4 days.
Amazing. And when is that?
March 22nd, we start.
March 22nd. Okay. And what's it called?
The 4-day free tapping experience.
Okay. So if y'all are on the live video, then you could say tapping. What do we want to say that's easy? 4 days of tapping. You could say 4 days of tapping in the comments, and then we'll get you the link. And if you're listening on the podcast, we'll link it below. And if it's after the fact, still download Jackie's free guide on tapping. And she does this at least a couple times a year, right?
Yeah, so I run at 21 days. So 21 days for $21. It's happening now, March, July, November. You guys can get that as well. I tap with you every morning for 20 minutes.
Yeah. So lots of ways to get involved. Definitely check her out. Follow her. She's doing amazing things. I'm so like, it's just amazing that we've done this at least 4 times for my community around visibility and how it shifts and changes. And it just really speaks to the evolution and the willingness to grow that we have, and that all the people who are surrounding us and the people in our communities all have too. So it's like, let's rise together.
Let's do it, girl. And I just want to honor you, Jaya. Thank you for doing the work that you're doing, because people's stories matter. And you are brilliant at bringing that out. And thank you for helping me with mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I take very, very little credit. I'm just grateful to have been a part of it. So we'll see you all later. And thanks so much for being here. If you got value from this, or you know people who would resonate, please share it. If it's the live video, whether it's the podcast, and share the tapping experience. Let's get as many people. Let's get this into the hands and homes, is this right, of as many people as possible.
The hands and homes. You got it. Bye, everyone.